parents ask us every single week that we serve in our office, what else can we be doing at home to help our child's nervous system? Because once you understand your child's struggle, whether it's sleep, focus, behavior, sensory challenges, immune issues, that they're all rooted in the nervous system, the next question becomes, how do we actually support that? And here's the honest answer. There is absolutely things that you can do at home to help your child's nervous system regulate. So we're not creating as much stress for their environment. But none of them are going to actually replace or correct the underlying stress and interference in the system itself. Because the nervous system is stuck in stress mode, what we call gas pedal stuck on state. You can do all the right things and you can feel like you're not getting anywhere. So in this video, what we're going to walk you through is what actually helps regulate the nervous system at home, what the research shows us about stress, cortisol, and regulation, and how to use these tools the right way without getting overwhelmed. Because sometimes it feels like we're having to do so much and we can get very overwhelmed. This is for parents who feel like you've tried everything, you've done all the healthy things, but your child is still stuck in a pattern of dysregulation, meltdowns, poor sleep, constant sickness, and they just feel sometimes they're off. They're not being, like, you can just tell in your spidey sense there's something going on. And the biggest point here is helping parents see the connection to the stressors that are creating this disruption in their nervous system. But before we really dive deep into the tactics, you have to understand first, your child's nervous system is constantly asking one question. Am I safe or am I stressed? And when the nervous system is stuck in stress mode, everything changes. The digestion is going to shift, immune function will be impacted, sleep really becomes a challenge, behavior dysregulation, brain development, those are impacted. So at home, we're not really focusing on fixing your child or reducing the amount of stress input hitting their nervous system. That is crucial. So the body can finally shift out of survival mode. So our first tip is going to be light exposure. This is a very underrated tool. One of the most powerful and overlooked ways to regulate the nervous system is light. So specifically getting your child outside within the first 30 to 60 minutes of waking up. Even if it's just 10 to 20 minutes, it's going to be great for them because light directly programs the brain's internal clock. So that's going to be that circadian rhythm. And research shows this impacts cortisol pattern, sleep quality, mood, and focus. When that rhythm is off, the nervous system really gets stuck in chaos. But when it's aligned, what we're going to see is the body knows when to be alert and actually when to calm down. And another tip I would give when it comes to that morning light exposure, so crucial, but also our downtime night light. So when we think about blue lights and the exposure at nighttime, what that's going to do is it's going to keep the brain stimulated. So really starting to eliminate blue light screens at least an hour before bed, 2 hours would be beautiful. And start to also just kind of turn the lights down in your home. So then the brain can click into that space of like, oh, okay, it's time to click into that circadian rhythm and go into sleep mode. So morning light and evening into, early night are going to be really key to helping the system learn how to get into that proper circadian rhythm. The next tip we're going to talk about is going to be breath, okay? This is an incredible tool that works almost immediately because the breath is actually a parasympathetic function. So that's going to activate vagal tone and bring on that brake pedal. So it's the component of it is to improve on the exhale. So that long, deep exhale is the importance of bringing on your vagus tone. So sometimes we've been confused with breath work or we think, right, like those short, sharp breaths. Absolutely not. It's more of those long, deep breaths in and then kind of slow, steady breathing out. This way we can actually communicate to the nervous system to tell it to calm down. It's going to let your nervous system and your brain and your body feel that it is safe and it can come out of stress mode. All right, the third tip we're going to cover is going to be sleep. Now, we've already talked about sleep and the importance of it, but because you cannot regulate your nervous system, that never fully powers down. When kids are not sleeping well, their cortisol is going to stay elevated, the body stays in stress mode, and healing gets shut down. So does growth, because that stress is constantly on their body. So sleep. Consistency is the key. Same bedtime, same wake time. The body craves that. And creating an environment that's going to support deep rest. So a dark room, cold temperature, and absolutely, like we already talked about, no screens before bed. Because sleep is not just resting. It's where the nervous system actually goes into reset mode, and we do a ton of healing during our sleep. All right, our tip number 4, nature and barefoot time. Kids today are overloaded with artificial input, screens, noise, constant stimulation, but they're missing something incredibly crucial, that natural sensory input. Getting them outside, letting them walk barefoot, grounding them into the earth. Let them move, explore, and play. This activates a beautiful part of their brain. And what we're going to be noticing is that you're going to see lower levels of cortisol, improve sleep, and goodness gracious, improve sensory processing. And for kids with sensory challenges, this is absolutely key. It is so key because it gives the brain clean, organized input that actually knows how to process it. So absolutely crucial. All right, number 5 we're going to talk about is temperature. This one surprises a lot of parents, but controlled temperature exposures, especially cold, can actually help regulate the nervous system. So something as simple as 10 to 30 seconds of cold water at the end of the shower, splashing cool water on the face if the child is really activated. This is going to activate a reflex that stimulates calming pathways. It's going to improve stress resilience, and it's going to support regulation within the nervous system. It's a small stress, and it teaches the body that it can handle these stressors safely. All right, let's talk about number 6. This is going to be blood sugar and how much of a hidden stressor this is. This one gets missed so often. When blood sugar is constantly spiking and then crashing, the body reads that as stress, so which is going to trigger cortisol spikes, mood swings, irritability, and really impacts their ability to focus. So what we want to stabilize it by is prioritizing protein within their diet and pairing carbohydrates with those proteins. Avoiding constant snacking all day. That means they're really just kind of constantly hitting that blood sugar spike. And it keeps the nervous system stuck in survival mode. All right, number 7, connection. This is the most powerful regulator that exists within your home dynamic. And this is the most important one. Real, present, undistracted connection. Eye contact, time and play, and physical touch. Because the nervous system doesn't just regulate on their own. We co-regulate so often. Your calm becomes their calm. Your safety becomes their safety. Even if it's just 10 to 15 minutes a day, completely shift your child's nervous system to feeling safe. So really prioritize that co-regulation and connection time. So just isn't just about what you can add, it's also about what you can remove, because these things keep the nervous system stuck. So it's like, hey, we've got these 7 tips to add in, but let's think about things we can take away. Constant screen exposure, overscheduling them. This is key. Lack of sleep, processed foods and sugar spikes, high stress environments. So when we think about May, because we're moving into May, we use this when we talk about scheduling. We call it Mayvember because it's almost like the month of May becomes more chaotic and stacked with, spring sports, plays at school, graduations, ceremonies, all of these things as school is coming to an end. So I want you guys to be mindful of that. Protect their schedules. That is something that's incredibly crucial for them. Bringing this kind of all together for you guys into just being able to apply it. Now, I want to be very clear. All of these things are incredibly powerful, but they are supportive. Because if there is interference in the nervous system itself, the body can't fully respond properly. That's why what we do by focusing on restoring the ability of the nervous system to regulate is so important, because these strategies reduce stress, but adjustments truly restore communication between the brain and the body, helping regulate the nervous system. That's going to be crucial to add in to the schedule and making sure that we're committed to getting their nervous systems adjusted on a regular cadence. And this is really well, if you combine these two, you're going to see so much change. So if you've been wondering what else can we do at home, please start simple. Pick a couple of these, 2 to 3, and truly implement it, right? Whether that's morning sunlight, breathing before bed, a consistent sleep routine, and just begin there, right? I'm not trying to overload you guys, but really trying to give you some tangible things to walk away with, to implement what you guys can do at home. How can we help their nervous systems as we're going through sometimes what seems like challenging seasons? So lean in, ask our team more questions. We look forward to serving you and your family.